Good morning, everybody. I thought that I would take a minute to talk to you guys about my bird feeding setup here in Danville. I started feeding birds on a whim, just wanting to learn some local birds after I started working from home because of quarantine, and it's grown pretty expansively ever since then. Ever since my first bird arrived, I have just been hooked, and definitely have gone a little nuts and have a whole lot more than the one bird feeder I got. So I thought I'd walk you guys through all that I've learned and what equipment I use. The first one you'll see is the stand right here. It's a yard butler stand, and I chose this product because it's the only stand I could find that was not a yard stand, meaning it was stuck in the ground. This one actually has a base. I'm not going to show it to you, but it's got a nice round base. You don't have to stick it into the dirt for it to stand. So, and I'm really happy with it too. It's sturdy. It's got what they call these gravity hooks. You can slide them up and down. When you first buy it, they seem flimsy, and they seem like they'll just drop like that. They're not going to hold anything, but I found that not to be the case. Once you actually have something on them, they really are supported by gravity, and they just stay wherever you put them. You read the reviews for it on Amazon, and they say you need little stoppers, but totally not true. It's been fine with me. The camera I'm using is a Cam Park trail camera. I find it pretty good. The picture is really pretty respectable. And then you use it through an iOS device, so I've got my iPhone here streaming. The only problem that I have in that regard is that it does have to use the iPhone. It requires connecting to its own internal Wi-Fi, and so that means you can't have any other real Wi-Fi on your iPhone. And since I don't have a data plan on my iPhone, it means my iPhone, I can't use it as browsing the web or using apps that require being on the web, which is just about everything these days. So when I'm recording my videos, I can't use my iPhone, but totally worth it to me. I don't mind at all. And probably not going to record videos anyways, but I thought I'd throw that in there. I use a tripod that I just got off of Amazon for like 20 bucks. I'm sure you can find any number of them. My first bird feeder that I got is one stuck on my door right now. It's a window feeder. It's got suction cups. It was like 25 bucks. You just type in bird feeder, you'll be able to find it on Amazon. It worked well. I got my first couple of birds within the first few days. It's flat. You can stick it on your window. So no other critters, if you put it up high enough, no other critters can get to it, it seems like. So yeah, but then I started researching more and wanted more, so let's see what else I got. I'm going to go grab some more stuff. So the next bird feeder that was gifted to me very nicely was this Squirrel Buster feeder. I really like the Squirrel Busters. I don't want to be chasing off squirrels all day, and they definitely come around here. When I first started bird feeding, they were just all over. And someone gave me this, and the squirrels tried to get into it for probably like 2 or 3 weeks. They kept trying. No luck. Now they've stopped. They don't even try anymore. As you can see, it's a bit empty right now. I better fill it up. can hear the birds chirping away already. I use some no mess seed that I got at a local store called East Bay Nature. It's a great little store if you're here in the East Bay. The owner is very nice. They have all sorts of bird feeders. All my bird seed, all my bird feeders except for one I got online. But I did buy my last bird feeder there, and I'll let you know which one that one is. The birds are chirping away. They're getting hungry. Let's get the next bird feeder out here. So the next feeder I got is this Suet feeder. Suet is essentially a blend of bird feed and fat that kind of congeals it all together. I got this because I started getting a couple woodpeckers come around and use the seed feeder I had, but I wanted more woodpeckers, and I did some research and found out that woodpeckers love suet. So I got this guy, and now I get tons of woodpeckers, as hopefully you'll see soon. So let's get this guy hung too. So just another quick note on the bird seed. I definitely went with the no mess. For a while I had the stuff with the black oil sunflower seeds, which the birds love, but there's just bird seed everywhere. So, meaning black oil sunflower seed husks. They husk them and you're just got those seeds everywhere. So it's more expensive to get the no mess, quote unquote, but it's worth it. A lot less cleanup. I have to keep my area clean, so that's what I've decided to use, and I think it lasts longer. You know, you're not buying husks that are just going to get chucked onto the ground, so the birds get more out of it too. So I really recommend the no mess stuff. Worth the investment. On to the next bird feeder. I got this larger seed feeder, much like the smaller one, but it just holds more. I wanted more perches for my birds. They were really starting to fight over that one feeder. So next feeder I got was this larger squirrel buster, and it just takes more of the seeds, same as the smaller one. I think I filled this one up 2 days ago, and now it's getting pretty low, so better put some more in there. This last one, hopefully you saw how low it was. It was filled up yesterday, so about once a day you gotta fill that guy up. If you're lucky enough to be in a place like me where the birds just come all day, so yeah, quite the thrill. Those birds are chirping away. They're all in the tree behind me and behind you. Nice and easy to fill, nice and easy to lock. No squirrels have been able to get into these guys. They live up to their name. Definitely the more expensive bird feeders, but I think it's worth the price. I was shooing away a lot of squirrels. When I first started, I just used this guy. And the squirrels were just in it all day. Now I have it still. Let the squirrels munch away in it all they want, but have these feeders for the birds too. So here is the Squirrel Buster nut feeder. I saw that there was such a thing as a nut feeder, and I just had to get one. It's different in that it's got this mesh around here, so you can put in these whole nuts, and the birds will peck away at them. You know, I've read that there's concern that if you give birds whole nuts, they bring them to their babies, and the babies choke, and I don't know. I don't know if I buy it, but I figured, what the heck. I'll get the feeder. So I started out just putting peanuts in here, and it barely got any visitors. Occasionally a chickadee, but that was about it. So now what I've done is, you can also buy suet pellets. So I've got peanut butter suet pellets in here, mixed with the peanuts that I had left over from when I first got this thing, and now this is a very popular feeder. So the suet, they love that fatty suet, so go with the suet if you really want to attract birds. And like I said, I've got some peanuts in there too, so the nuts are being used. So my recommendation. For the record, I've got insect suet and a normal suet, I don't know what you call it, unfancy suet in the suet feeder. There's two sides to it, and one side has the insect suet and one side has the regular suet. So this is the first time I've had to fill up this feeder. Looking like it's getting a little low, so I might as well stock it up. Which is good, it means it's getting some action. Birds are chirping. They are excited. I think I've just got my one more to go from my newest addition. Let's go check it out. So I was getting tons of goldfinches. So I got this guy. This is called a Finch feeder. It's got this mesh around it, and you put in here niger seed. And niger seed's like a little tiny seed. And the finches love it, and they love perching on this thing. And since the finches were taking up so much space, I knew I had to get one of these. I got this from the Wild Birds, from East Bay Nature. Wild Birds Unlimited is another good store that's local. East Bay Nature is a little closer to me. I started getting to know the owner a little bit, so I go there. But yeah, the finches have really started to latch onto this thing. They've gotten used to it. It takes several days for birds to really start using a feeder, I've noticed, but once they do, they're hooked. So niger seed is great. The finches love it. I get tons of finches. Yeah, and this is where they like to hang out. The finches love to hang out on the seed feeders. Really, the only bird that uses all the feeders are chickadees. They don't care. All the rest of the birds that come around, they kind of have their own special seed that they like. Chickadees will eat suet, they'll eat the seeds, they'll eat the niger. So let's get this guy up. And the reason why I didn't get the Squirrel Buster for that feeder was because squirrels don't eat the niger seed. It's too small for them, I suppose, and they just pay no attention to it. So you don't need the Squirrel Buster for the niger seed. All the rest of them, I think it's a good idea. Not positive about the suet. I think that, I went online and saw some videos saying you need a Squirrel Buster because the squirrels like the suet. Don't know if that's true or not. I figured better safe than sorry, so I got the suet feeders. But I did see some videos online saying squirrels don't care about niger, and it turns out to be true so far. So far so good. I'm going to hang up my window feeder and adjust the camera to make sure everything's all set up well, and then you'll enjoy some birds coming to visit me, just like I will. All right, I'll talk to you later. am going to put some of these suet balls in my window feeder because the birds love munching those guys up. Okay, let the show begin. What do you think? Does that look good? Yep, that looks like a nice view. Enjoy, everybody. I sure will. nice Nettles woodpecker there that was eating on my suet feeder. He was on the normal suet side, so if you worry, what suet should I buy, what product should I buy? With the suet, I've found the birds will eat just about any variety I put out. I got that kind with insects in it, and essentially the normal suet plus insects. They do like that a little more. I think they like the peanut butter suet a little more, but they'll still eat the normal stuff, no problem. On the issue of bird seed, I can say as long as you don't get bird seed with millet, that's kind of the trap. Millet is the cheapest stuff. It's really easy to find. You don't want to buy that stuff. Only ground feeders eat millet seeds. So if you put it in your bird feeder, the birds will just scoop it on out of there until they find something they like, and you'll get it all over your ground. Like I said, I use this seedless stuff now. At first I started using black oil sunflower seeds. The birds ate that up, but it was really messy. With this no mess stuff, you know, it's going to be still leave a mess. They still dump stuff up on the ground, but that way it's kind of a good thing. Then the ground feeders come and they eat the no mess stuff that falls on the ground. So you still get your ground feeders. You don't need that millet. It's you get the mourning doves, you get the jays, yeah, and the towhees. They all come anyways because they get the stuff that the other birds drop out of the feeders. So notice you can't see my niger feeder, so let's fix that. I'm going to roll the dice. I want you guys to be able to see my my flower pot here filled with my leftovers. So each night I just sweep up the ground and throw it all in that flower pot, and then the birds can eat out of that too. I'm putting it a little close to the other feeders now, so you might see some squirrels getting into the other feeders because the squirrel busters do need a little clearance. But what I do is I just have that flower pot. At the end of the night I sweep up my deck and put all the stuff I sweep up into the flower pot. In the morning I fill up my bird feeders in the flower pot, so anything that spills out goes into it, and then the birds that want to eat out of the pot and skip the feeders can do that. Okay, back to the show. We're going to make one adjustment. We're going to take this guy so you can see him better. Swap him out with this guy. Yep, that looks good. See you guys.